Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Hello.
Hello. All right, we're on week 9. And just a heads up, I'll be out next week. So we will not have class. But I think if y'all remember, we combined 2 classes. So it's fine. We'll still be on schedule. When I get back from in 2 weeks, we'll be on week 10. We'll have 11 and 12. So we'll have 3 weeks to go after today, but no class next week. Okay. Let's dive in. Today's going to be fun. We're still creating those lasting lifestyle changes. Hopefully you're continuing to optimize your diet with whole foods. You're continuing to push your fast. If you are at 2 days, let's go to 3. If you're at 3, let's go to 4. If you're at 4, let's go to 5. I want you fasting most days because the more you fast, the more consistent you will get, the easier it will be. And it doesn't have to be the same fast every day. It could be a 16-8 or an 18-6. You can change it up depending on your days and your schedules and how hungry you are that day. Or you can push to a 24. If you're feeling good, keep going. Let's keep moving our body every day, no matter what. Try to pick some type of movement in our day. Getting out and walking around, even if it's just parking further away at work, that counts. And then improving our overall well-being with our sleep, with our stress, all the things. And we're going to create some lasting lifestyle changes. Ideas today are revolved around dining out, which I know is part of our everyday life. And it's not something we can avoid. So we might as well just face it head on. All right, let's check in. Any success, let us know in the chat box. Anything that's going well for you, we'd love to hear. If you got in some good fasts this week, if you found a new recipe that you like, let us know. Anything, success, put it in the chat box for us. Last week, we talked about emotional eating. So there are 3 different tiers to our emotional eating, and they involve intentional eating, which is a good thing, homeostatic eating, and hedonic eating. Now, ideally, we're being intentional with our eating and we are considering the benefits of the fasting versus the feasting. So remember the mindsets we talked about when we are fasting, that it's not about I'm starving, how many more hours do I have to go, or I have to fast today. I want you to start flipping the script, because whatever we say inside our head is what we believe. So it does have to be authentic. You do have to truly believe it. But also there is the fake it till you make it mentality. So if you don't truly believe it yet, that's okay. You can still fake it till you make it in your head. But fasting is freedom from eating. So it gives you more opportunity for other things. And there's less planning involved if you're taking a meal out of your day. There's less time that you have to set aside to prep for that meal, cook for that meal, think of what you're going to eat for that meal. So there is freedom involved in fasting. There's healing of the body. So even when you're starting to get those hunger pangs, grab a water, grab a coffee, grab a tea, and know that your body is healing itself from within. And that is awesome. It's healing itself from the cells in our body that we need to get rid of. It's healing ourselves from the fat in our body that we need to use for energy instead. It's healing our body from the inside out so that our skin can glow brighter, so that we can have more energy, so our brain fog can clear out. It's healing us from the inside out. But it's also helping us reduce our cravings when we're in a fasting, when we make it through fasting. Each time we get through fasting, it's going to continue to reduce our cravings, which is also giving us more control over our lifestyle and our decisions on what we eat, because we are not bound by these addictive behaviors that food can create within us. So there's a lot that goes into the mindset when we're fasting, and hopefully you can start taking these into consideration when you're in a fast so that your mindset grows stronger each time you're fasting, and it's going to become just who you are. And then feast, when we're feasting, when we're eating, we're looking for foods that are going to nourish our body. We're looking for lots of good healthy fats that are going to keep us satisfied in between our meals. We're looking for balance so that we're getting a variety of foods so that we can get a variety of vitamins and minerals in our body that can protect us from the inside out. And we're building on good choices. We're finding things that we like that work for our plan, and maybe you stick with those things for a little while, but eventually tweak them and find other things that you like and continue to build on the good choices that make you feel better. And then when we're in an emotional mindset, we're always going to be faced with emotional challenges. So, first step is recognizing that the emotions are there, recognizing what we need, what we really need, what is going to help us get through these emotions. And then what options do we have available? What is really going to help me to de-stress? What's really going to help my anxiety today? What's really going to help my boredom? Whatever it may be, what options do you have available? And then try to choose mindfully something that's going to be helpful towards your overall well being, even if you are in an emotional mindset. All right, let's go into dining out. And then if you have any thoughts on emotional eating, let us know. If you came across anything last week after we talked about it, let us know. Anything that's helpful, we'd love to hear it. We're all going through the same things, just in different places and in different ways. All right, let's be able to eat anywhere, right? It doesn't have to be just in our kitchen, but knowing that everything compounds. So if we can make good decisions, even when we're eating out, it's going to continue this long-term compound effect towards the results we're looking for. Eating out does not have to hinder our plan. And we don't have to avoid it. We can enjoy eating out because it's nice to have someone else cook for you every once in a while. But we can make better choices to compound these effects. A few high leverage disciplines practiced every day will lead to our long-term results. On the flip side, as you can see down below where the minuses are, a few errors in judgment repeated every day will take us in a very different direction. So when you're faced with what to order on the menu, just know I just have to go into it with knowing what I'm getting before I get there and sticking with it and finding what works for me on the menu and ordering it when I get there and just sticking with it. Because it is so hard when you show up to a restaurant and you're hungry and everything looks great and your partner over there or your friend is ordering the best thing on the menu and you're like, yeah, me too. But we're not going to do that because look, that's where the minuses start to go off. We're not going to do that. We're going to eat out and we're going to stay on plan. So here's a few high leverage disciplines we can use when we're eating out. First and foremost, prepare ahead of time. Look at the menu before you go. This is the number one thing that you can do is look at the menu before you go. Try to find something on the menu that's going to work for you before you even get there. Because like I said, it's going to be so much harder when you sit down and other people are ordering things that sound delicious. You're hungry. The waitress is recommending things. And you're like, no, I'm going to stick with something that works for me. Prepare ahead of time by taking something with you, meaning maybe have a little something before you get there. Like, try not to show up ravishingly hungry at the restaurant. because as soon as they set the chips down, as soon as they set the bread down, as soon as you see the best looking thing on the menu, it could quite possibly be game over at that point. Maybe take something with you on the way or before you leave the house, like have a little something. Maybe it's just a spoonful of peanut butter to settle your stomach, a handful of nuts, something quick and easy so that you're not absolutely starving when you get there. Prioritizing protein and healthy fats can be really helpful too. So think doesn't have to be a salad. Like salads are not the end all be all when it comes to the healthy options on the menu. You can go for the grilled meats, you can go for the fish entrees, you can go for salads, or you could just go for vegetables if you wanted to. So check out the menu. Typically the first thing I do is am I in the mood for a salad or am I in the mood for like an entree? And then from there, trying to decide what looks best. And just because certain, like maybe it's steak and it's paired with potatoes, like cheesy potatoes or something, doesn't mean you have to get the potatoes. Or just because it comes with bread doesn't mean you have to get the bread. Typically at restaurants, you can swap around the sides. So try to find something green, perhaps. Like I love a creamed spinach or a sauteed spinach. You can get that with your fish or your steak, whatever you're going to get. Salads can be good, but with salads, we just want to be careful with uh, maybe holding the croutons, uh, choosing dressings, things like that can make a big difference for our salads too. Try to swap out the carbs. If you're going to do something like you see a sandwich on the menu that sounds awesome, or you're just in the mood for a burger. For example, we have this burger place in town, and they make the best burgers. You cannot go there and not get a burger. So when I went with my family, I ordered the cheeseburger, and then I got a side salad. And then I put the cheeseburger on the salad with some dressing, and it was amazing. I had the best of both worlds. I had the really yummy cheeseburger, and I still had a salad, and I was able to skip the carbs. Come to find out, meat actually tastes a lot better when it's not sandwiched between bread because you're getting all the flavor and the bread's not getting in the way of it. And just adding it onto the salad with other veggies and stuff brings it so much more to life. You get so much more out of it. So try swapping out those carbs and throwing the carbs over a salad. There was a sandwich that I used to get at Venice Kitchen, and it was a grilled chicken with pepper jack cheese and avocado, and it's so yummy. But I would throw that over a salad too. And I know there's a salad place, Hop Dottie, that was in Memphis, and you could literally order any burger on the menu and throw it over their salad greens. So try it out. It doesn't always have to be exactly what's on the menu, is the main point here. You can always switch things around and just make them work for you. And then the biggest thing is practice makes perfect. Sometimes you're going to the meal and you have all the good intentions and then something just falls apart. And that's okay. You can always learn from each meal that you have, especially if you go into it and you're like, I'm going to find the perfect thing on the menu, and then you struggle to find the perfect thing on the menu. It's okay. You're going to learn something each time you eat out. You're going to get better at it. One thing I really like is when I find something at a restaurant that works for me and I just know what I'm going to get before we even go. Like, I don't have to look at the menu anymore. I just know if we go to Mexican, this is what I'm getting. If we go to the pizza place, this is what I'm getting. And it takes the pressure off when you practice and find things that you like that work for the plan, and um, you can stick to it each time you go to a certain place. If you're like us and you kind of revisit the same places, um, it makes it a lot easier once you find something that you do like. But go into the meal with a goal in mind. Maybe it is, I'm going to stick with water this time, or I'm only going to have one bite of the dessert if we get dessert, or I'm going to get a salad. One thing you can do if you sit down and you're ravished, you do get there and you are ravishingly hungry, just go ahead and order a side salad so that you have something to start filling your belly up with and calm your mind before you make a decision on your full meal. So practice different things, practice and see what works for you, and practice will make perfect eventually. Another thing I recommend is eating in order. So this can go for situations where you're at a cookout, you're like at a neighbor's cookout, or you're at a holiday, or you're at a buffet, and there are things that you're going to try at the cookout or the buffet that may not necessarily be on the plan, but you're going to have them anyway. All right. You're going to have it anyway. This is how I want you to approach it. If you will, okay, you'll see the blue line right here is the one that shows the lowest bump in your glucose. This particular line is when you eat the protein and the veggies first. Now, this particular meal, let me give a little background. This particular meal is a sandwich with veggies on it, or veggies on the side, like a sandwich in between the bread, veggies on the side. If you eat the protein and the veggies first and then eat the bread last, you're going to have a lower insulin response, or eat the carb last. If you do the veggies first and then go to the protein and then go to the carbs, you have a little bit more of a bump in your glucose. But if you eat the carbs first, look what happens to the glucose. The carbs make your glucose shoot up and then come way down. All right, so all this to say, if you're going to eat the carbs, have them last, so eat in order. Protein first, veggies with it, and then carbs. And then if you have some fat in there, even better. Fat's going to slow things down too. But having the protein and the veggies in your digestive system already working, and I'm sure the protein and veggies already have some type of fat, olive oil, butter, or something that they've been cooked in. If you already have that going in your digestive system before the carbs come in, so before the bite of dessert or before the potato or whatever it is, the bread, if you decide to have some chips, have it last, because it will save your glucose from spiking and then dipping way down. It'll help balance it out. All right. And then I have a concept I want to introduce in regards to like vacationing. If we're vacationing, or I don't know, maybe we just have some time off this summer and maybe it's the weekend. Let's think about, I put it into an idea of like red light, yellow light, green light days. Maybe a red light day, and you could adjust this as you see fit, but maybe a red light day is where you're not fasting and you are eating snacks, but you're going to have 3 meals and you're going to have healthy snacks. You're going to eat in order. You might get some carbs in on a red light day, but you're going to eat in order. You're going to eat the carbs last so that it doesn't have such an effect on your glucose, and you're going to have no regrets. Like, most importantly, have no regrets on the red light day. I'm not saying go all out. I'm saying just enjoy it. It is life. Life is about balance. We're not fasting all the time. We're not eating all the time either. But on days where things are just a little wacky, a little off, try to stick to 3 meals and healthy snacks in between. If you're going to have snacks, make it like a healthy snack. Fruits, veggies, hummus, dip, guacamole dip with veggies, peanut butter and banana, things like that. Remember to pair in those fats with your snacks. Eat in order, have no regrets. All right. Maybe it's a yellow light day. Maybe you're not fasting this day either, but you're not going to have snacks. You're just going to eat 3 meals. You're going to stick to your standard 3 meals. You're going to stick to the whole foods. You're going to stick to the whole grains. You are going to eat some carbs. They're going to be whole grain carbs. It's going to be something simple like oatmeal or rice or whole grain bread, and you're going to stay hydrated. So what would like a yellow light day look like? It's not perfect. It's not a fasting day. Could you cut the snacks out on that day? Could you still eat in order if you do eat carbs? Could you stick to your whole foods? Could you stay hydrated? What can you do? I think is the most important thing when we're vacationing, when we're on the weekends, when things are a little off. And then here's a green light day where you're fasting for 1 meal, you're eating whole foods, you're staying hydrated, you're moving your body, you're having a good day. It's a green day. And we want to have mostly green days, but they're not all going to be green days, right? Some are going to be yellow, some are going to be red. But what do those days look like for you? And what can you do on those days versus letting them go like full blown out the window, right? So if you're having trouble with weekends, if you're having trouble with any particular time, like it's Memorial Day weekend coming up, if you're having trouble with it, try to think of what can I do today? What could today look like? Maybe I'm going to eat 3 meals today. Maybe I'm going to stick to whole grains. Maybe I'm going to get lots of water in. Or maybe I'm just going to try eating in order today and getting in some healthy snacks in the middle if I do snack. So making sure that you're keeping your life flexible enough that it works for you, but we're not going all the way off the deep end. All right. Continue fasting with our whole foods those days of the week whenever you can. I've like really enjoyed, I don't fast on Saturdays and I enjoy getting back on track on Sunday. I feel like that's an easier day to fast because you're like hectic morning, getting ready for church. You get to church, you have service. You're not out till noon anyways. It's a great day to fast, I've found. And it's a great way to start the week off too. But we're all different. We do different things. So find what works best for you. Continue fasting as much as you can though with those whole foods. Increase your overall well-being with our sleep, with keeping our stress at a good, healthy level. We do need a little stress, but we don't need a lot of stress. Um, Moving our bodies and finding balance and flexibility in the midst of it all, because it's a lifestyle. And here are some practices for mindful traveling. If you are this weekend or coming up this summer, make sure to take your time. We're rushing 24/7, it feels like. Try to slow it down. Try to feel each step. Try to really take in what you're doing and where you are and who you're with and the foods you're getting to try and savor the moment. Relax and rest. Try to put your phone away. I try to put my phone away at the dinner table anytime like we're eating out. Anytime I'm face to face with my husband, I try to just keep the phone away or with friends. Like last night I was with friends and just keeping the phone away and being in the moment and bounce back. Know that you completely lost it. It's okay. If things got out of whack, it's okay. If you got in a disagreement with someone, fell into a crappy mood, the rain was going crazy like it's been lately, take a few minutes to sit quietly and notice your body and your breath. Hit the reset button. You can hit reset anytime you want to. We do not want to make a habit of pausing on our wellness journey, but we can always hit the reset button and start over and go forward from there. All right, I'm sending y'all out a low carb dining out guide. So let me pull this so you can see it. Hold on a sec. This guide is so awesome to wrap up what we're talking about. But it's how to eat low carb or keto diet when dining out, basics at buffet restaurants, what to do, at a friend or a relative's place, what to do at fast food restaurants. If you're out and about, if you're traveling, you might need this one. So they're going to give you some great ideas on what to get at all the different restaurants. Pizza, Indian, Asian, Mexican, burger or chicken joints, delis, okay? And then I'm going to include the top 11 fast food options for low carb. So they'll tell you what to order at Chick-fil-A, Wendy's. You'll get all this stuff. So if you need it for the summer, for the travels coming up, definitely use these resources. I think they're awesome to just give you some good ideas on balancing life because we're not going to stop, right? And we want it to work everywhere. We want to be able to eat anywhere. So that's the goal. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Remember, we're not meeting next week. I'll send an email to remind you, but I'll see you in 2 weeks, and we will have 3 weeks to go. If you have any topics that you want me to include in the last few weeks, let me know, and I'm happy to do it. Happy to add in wherever we need more information. So y'all have a happy Memorial Day, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.